Class 5, lesson number 6. The name of lesson, The Lost Child. So I started this lesson. It was springtime. From the shadow of narrow lanes and alleys amazed gaily cried. The man, woman, was children were all going to the fair. Some awake, some rode on horses, others and in black carts. One little boy ran between his parents' legs. He was very happy and filled with life and laughter. Come, child, come, called his parents as he lagged behind, attracted by toys in the shops that lined the way. He hurried towards his parents' feet, obedient to their call, his eyes still lingering on the receiving toys. As he came to our, they have stopped to await. For him, he could not suppress the desire of his heart, even though he well knew the old cold stare of refusal on their eyes. I want that toy, he pleaded. His father looked at him angrily. His mother, melted by the free spirit of the day, was tender and giving him her finger to hold, said, "Look, child, what is in front of you? The pleasure of it always in front of him filled his eager eyes. They had left the dusty road on which they had acquired so far and entered the footpath in a field. It was a flaring mustard field, pale like melting gold as it sobbed across miles of even land. The child looked up to his father and mother and filled with the joy and wonder of this vast gallery, left the footpath and plunged into the field, flashing like a colt. Come, child, come, come on the footpath. He went towards his parents gaily and awake alongside by side with them for the while. However, he was soon left behind, attracted by the little insect and arms along the footpath that were coming out from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. Come, child, come, his parents called. They were resting under a tree, sitting on the edge of a while he ran towards them. An old banyan tree where here had outstretched its powerfully arms over the blossoming jackfruit, jamun, neem, champok, and cherries, and cast its shadows across beds of golden cassis and crimson gold moor as an old grandmother spreads her scraps over her young honors. Come, child, come, they called to the child who had now gone running round the banyan tree, and gathering him, they took the narrow, winding footpath which led to the fair from the mustard fields. As they neared the village, The child could see many other footpaths full of crowds going to the fair. A sweetmeat seller called out gulab jamun, rasgulla, barfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and the crowd pressed round his counter. The child stretched open out and his mouth honored for the barfi, which was his favorite sauce. I want that barfi, he smiling much, but he knew that nobody would give any im- importance to his request. So, without waiting for an answer, he moved on. A man stood holding a pole with yellow, red, green, and purple balloons flying from it. The child had an overwhelming mind designed to possess them all, but he knew his parents would never buy him the balloons because they would say he was too old to play with them. So he walks on. A juggler stood playing a flute to a snake which coiled itself in a basket. Its head was raised in the graceful bend like the neck of the so on. The child went towards the juggler, but no, his parents had forbidden him to hear such cats music as the juggler's play. He proceeded further away. There was a roundabout in full swing. Men, women, and children carried in wailing motion, shrieked and cried with dizzy laughter. The ring seemed to move very fast at first, then gradually it began to move less fast. Presently, the child with rapt attention saw it stop. This time he made a bold request. I want to go on the roundabout. Please, father, mother. There was no reply. He turned to look at his parents. They were not there. They were not on the other side. Others. He looked behind. There was no sign of them. A full deep cry arose within the child's dry throat, and he ran from our. He stood crying in fear. Mother, father, teacher ran down from his eyes. His flash face so his fear. Panic stricken, he ran to our side first, then to the other in all directions, not knowing where to go. Mother, father, he wailed. His yellow turban came untied and his closed away with perspiration became muddy where the dust had mixed with the sweat of his body. He now stood defeated, his cries surprised into sobs. Then he ran again, this time to a temple to which people seemed to be crowding. Every little inch of space here was congested with men, but he ran through people's guests, his little shops lingering on the air. Mother, father, near the entrance of the temple. However, the crowd became very thick. Men jostled with each other. The poor child struggled to carve a well between their feet, but he was knocked to and fro, and he might have been trampled underfoot had he not shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice, "Father, mother!" A man in the surging crowd heard his cry, and stooping with very great difficulty lifted him up in his arms high Did you get here, child? Whose baby are you? The man asked as he moved away from the crowd. The child wept more bitterly than ever now. And only crowd, I want my mother, I want my father. The man tried to soothe him by taking him up to the roundabout. Will you have a round on the horses? He gently asked as he approached the ring. The child tore into a thousand shrill sobs and he only shouted, I want my mother, I want my father. The man headed towards the place where the juggler still played on the flute to the dancing cobra. Listen to that music, child, he pleaded, but the child shut his ears with his fingers and shouted even more loudly, I want my mother, I want my father. The man took him near the balloons, thinking the bright colors of the balloons would distract the child's attention. Would if like a rainbow colored balloon? He asked persuasively, but the child turned his eyes from the balloons and just sobbed. I want my mother, I want my father. Then, to make the child happy, the man took him to the sweetmeat shop. What sweets would you like, child? The child turned his face away from the sweetmeat shop and only sobbed. I want my father, I want my father.